Today, we get to learn more about the Association for Excellence in Education, also known as AEE. They're in partnership with the Tupelo Public School District as well as Carver Elementary School, and they've got some good things to celebrate. Joining us is Stewart McMillian to share a little more. Hey, Stewart.
Good afternoon, Rebecca. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you for having me.
So should I celebrate you turning 40 or the organization turning 40?
Great question. The organization turns 40 this year, so we are very grateful that AEE was founded in 1983 by a group of public school district supporters. So we are 40 years strong this year and have celebrated at our annual luncheon that took place on September 29th at Carver Elementary School. Had the opportunity to highlight some of the things over the last 40 years, such as giving back $3.4 million to the school district and supporting other innovative work and programs. So very grateful to be continuing that legacy. We actually had 6 founding board members of that luncheon, so that was really special to be there and have them see the impact 40 years down the line.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about 40 years ago, someone seeing just the good that could come from having that kind of partnership or just sort of being very intentional with pouring back into the school, what that can do. And obviously, if it's working, then it sort of keeps on going. So now, today in 2023, Stewart, like what is it, the core mission still sort of the same, or how has it evolved, should I say, or stayed the same, both, over the last 4 decades?
Great question. So the true mission of our work is to provide innovative programs to students from pre-K through 12th grade in the Tupelo Public School District. So that has really stayed true. But how we expand and enhance the educational experience has evolved. We currently fund grants. So teachers in the Tupelo Public School District submit innovative proposals that our board and our community members read and review. And we as a board fundraise and have over 150 individuals and organizations who give of their resources to be able to support these grants in action. And we were thrilled to announce at the end of September that this year there will be 32 funded grants totaling over $112,000 to go back into the school district to support these innovative programs and ideas. So very grateful for that opportunity and that level of support for our teachers and for our students.
And these are teachers who are having their own ideas, right? This isn't another program that's coming in sort of, begging teachers to do or throwing on their table or, adding to their long list of things they need to get done. These are obviously things that individual teachers feel like should be done in their classroom. They want to do in their classroom. They have ideas about, and then you just get to come along and sort of help support in the many different ways. So, Stewart, what are some of those? What are some of those innovative programs or projects that our teachers have submitted? What are they thinking about? What's going on in their minds in terms of what they want to do extra in their classrooms?
Great. Rebecca, I'd like to give 2 shout-out examples of that this year. The first being Rankin Elementary is a 3rd through 5th grade school in our district that received the Founders Grant Award this year to teachers Lindsay Hester and Karen Barber, who came up with a grant proposal called Glowing Forward with Glowforge. And if you are not familiar with Glowforge, I hope that's one of your takeaways from today, that you go look up. Glowforge at its core is a powerful laser technology that can cut and engrave. Envision like a 3D printer, but much faster and expeditious, that can be used to both enhance the educational experience, to allow kids to go through an engineering design process to, let's say we're learning about force and we're creating airplanes, and we're going to create those, and we're going to test out different iterations of that. So let's make learning fun and authentic and bring it to the classroom. And that was an idea generated by these 2 teachers at Rankin, and our board liked it so much and our funders liked it so much that we actually are proud to share Tupelo Public School District has 4 3rd through 5th grade schools, and we're actually funding a glow forge and all the materials and technology at all 4 of those schools.
That's awesome.
So at Pierce Street, Lawhorn, Lawndale, and Rankin. And that is only made possible by the generous gifts of Regions Bank and the Eileen Gibbons family, and our board and other donors bringing that project to fruition. So you'll see that glow forge technology in 4 schools, all 3rd through 5th graders in the Tupelo Public School District being impacted.
That's really neat. That's really cool. That also goes to show that you've got a committed board who recognizes what's good for one school is going to be good for all of them. You know, I'm sure not every project ends up that way where the goodness is spread that way, but kudos to them to recognize, hey, you know, all of our elementary kids should have the opportunity for this technology or sort of this experience, and then to make that happen. You mentioned you had another one, Stewart. Is it as cool as that one?
It is. It is just as cool, if not a little bit cooler, just from one of the accolades that it's receiving. The second grant is switching to the secondary level. We have an extraordinary educator, Sally Beth McCullough, who had done some work and learned about the Hollow Sands Quiet Pixel augmented reality table. And I know those are some big words. Let's envision it's a really fancy sand table that allows individuals and students to learn about topography, valleys, mountains, volcanoes, rivers, to see the effects of water, evaporation, weather, volcanoes, human impact. And right now, that technology is in 7 museums, from as close here in Mississippi as Decatur, Alabama, and as far away as Kyiv, Ukraine. But there is not currently that technology in any school district in the country or in the world. And Miss McCullough saw that technology, teaches earth and space science, thought about how this could be used for her classroom, for other classrooms at Tupelo High School, for classrooms at Tupelo Middle School. And she said, you know what? Our kids should have access to this type of technology and resource to make it more hands-on, to make it more engaging. And she wrote a grant, and our board loved it and did the research. And the Tennessee Valley Authority, TVA, have to give a lot of credit to them. They are helping to fund this project. So we will have the first ever Hollow Sands Quiet Pixel augmented reality sand table in a school district in the country at Tupelo High School this year.
That's cool.
I know.
That's really cool.
So, yeah, it is just as cool, if not cooler. I like both of them. I'm pretty partial to both the Glow Forge and the Hollow Sands Quiet Pixel table.
So these are pretty big ideas, right, Stewart? And the one thing, there's two, and then I'm sure there's some others that doesn't cost as much money or aren't as, complicated or, I guess a big deal is sort of technology. I'm sure some of the projects or the grants are much smaller, but this is what your teachers can come up with when you give them creative freedom, or at least an avenue in which to ask for, whatever it is that they want or need to sort of help with their education in the classroom. And they may or may not get it right, but they know what's out there. They, the good ones do, and the good ones know what could be done in the classroom with the right sort of resources. And so to me, I think this is a great model for other districts or other schools to sort of think about. Now, I know that the AE has been building these relationships within the community for over 40 years, but can this type of, partnership work in other parts of the state?
Definitely. And that's one thing. I'd have to give a shout out to Create is a community foundation in Mississippi, and there are multiple other community foundations. And I've actually been in communication with Meridian and the school district there and the community foundation there. They have already started the process of setting up an AEE there. And I think this is definitely a model that is replicable, that you don't have to start out given $100,000 in grants. I mean, that isn't what AEE started out as originally. But how do you think about partnering with a community foundation or a nonprofit that already exists that might align and supporting your school districts in your area? And how do you figure out a way to fund innovative grants? And we are more than happy to be a partner. I've shared our grant timeline and process, and it's definitely not a magic bullet. You need the people and the capacity to implement, but we are happy to share and would love to see this model and concept spread to multiple school districts across the state of Mississippi.
Well, Stewart, congratulations on 40 years. Not you, but the organization. I'm sure you'll be around with them for another 40 if you can hang in there. But you you keep up with us. I want to hear more about what comes out of these different grants and all that, but I appreciate your time today.
Definitely. Well, thank you, Rebecca, for having us. It's always a pleasure. And hope that as a final charge, if you're listening to this today and you have a way that you can partner with your local school district, I hope that you'll think about ways to support your teachers and your students. They are truly our greatest asset.
All right, stick with us.